Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Psst, psst, hey, psst, oi, hey, you, listening, hey, listen. Want to be on the top of Google rankings? Just give me $1,000, I'll get you there. Yeah? Do that. I want you to forget everything that you think you know about SEO. Let me tell you something. Search engine optimization, which basically means how to rank on search engines, has come a long way. And what you thought you knew, or what your uncle or cousin who did IT last year informed you about search engine optimization, no longer works. Okay. And all the snake oil sales SEO gurus who sell this type of product intentionally, they keep one thing from their would-be customers. I want you to know that if your website is at the top of Google search pages but doesn't provide useful information to your potential customers, all of that is useless. If your potential customers click on your site and they don't get immediately drawn to your knowledge about your products and the problems that you solve for them, they are gonna hit back quicker than lightning. All right. And don't even think that SEO is dead. You could be ranking, but maybe the one thing that's not working is your website. So if you are engaged with SEO agency, they should do a whole lot better than just wanting you to rank, because that's the last thing you actually need to be the first on Google if your website is not providing the right kind of information for your audience. Okay, so for you to actually win at this game of search engine optimization, first of all, we probably need to redefine what it actually means. Okay, good content equals good SEO. All right. If you really look at it, search engine optimization is that you are simply educating others. SEO, simply educating others, simply empathizing with others. That's what SEO is. All right, you're helping them make sense of the world around them. So you've identified your target market, you've clarified your message, and you're just using SEO as a media for those that are looking for your services to be able to find you, so you can help them do and have a happier existence. That's all it is. It's not a gimmick. It's not a trick or anything. It's just simply an understanding that you are simply educating others. SEO. All right. So let me reframe this and let you know that Google lied to us. They did. They lied to every person that's got a smartphone right now. The biggest lie is the one thing that they're gonna fight to their own death to defend. All right. And I know you might be eager right now to find out what the lie was. The biggest lie is Google wants everyone to assume that every time that you type into the search engine, the information that you get is coming from Google itself. That is the biggest lie ever told. That is the biggest fallacy that we are all jumping through hoops for, and Google will fight to their own death to defend their face on this lie that they perpetuated. And you know where that information comes from? all of that information comes from your website, my website, our websites. It doesn't come from Google. Google just happens to be the platform that helps people make sense of the internet. Otherwise, the internet is a defragmented, entity, which if no one controls or is a gatekeeper, wow, you never know what you're going to be able to find. And if you really want to know something, only about 4% of the internet is actually indexed by Google. All right. I would want to confirm that as we speak, because at the end of the day, we need to actually understand that Google is only a stepping stone towards the internet. All right. So you want to make sure that if your website is going to be ranking, like that guy who started the podcast who was inviting you to a dark corner and is wearing a jacket, full of SEO optimization tactics. You want to make sure that your website is actually giving the right kind of information to your audience in order for them to make sense of the world around them. Okay. So you want to know that your website is a reflection of your business. Okay, it's your front desk that is littered with random, it's your front desk and the concierge, the first place protocol that people come to get in touch and interact with your business. Now, I want to ask you a question. Is your front desk littered with random comments and advertisements from people that you don't even know? Does it actually have a theme, or are you providing valuable information and service to people once they arrive at your door? Or do you continue to just shout at them until they purchase something or walk out with poorly written SEO content? All right. Think of it as you actually inviting people to your house. Do you ask people to pee in your sink where you wash your dishes? No, you wouldn't. Everything is placed in its rightful place, and you want to be able to show people when they say, hey, can we use your bathroom? You point them towards the direction of the bathroom. Does your website do exactly the same thing for when your people come towards it? I want you to live by these words. I don't know if you know a guy called Bob Berg, the author of Go Giver. All right. He says, all things being equal, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And I want you to know that your website represents an opportunity to create a base of fans that listen to what you've got to say and who grow to know who you are. And then this leads business later on down the road. So no SEO service is going to create this. Only valuable, well-written content that provides service and knowledge to your visitors is what helps you have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Okay. And this type of information is not created by people that specialize in tricking Google for a living. All right. Rather, it is written by people who have the time and inclination to learn about your business. And usually these people are concerned with your business needs and the needs of your potential customers, because people only listen to marketing that is directed at them. You want to make sure that you've got excellent copy that depicts that you have actually identified your market and you know what they need because you've clarified your message. All right. So you want to work with people that actually get this right from the get-go, and they're not just obsessed with ranking or tricking Google into thinking that your website is the best thing since sliced bread. And Live Long Digital can actually help you set your website to get real results. You want to make sure that your SEO content will be informative and interesting too, because who wants to get bored trying to learn what it is that you do? Even the most boring subjects like accounting can actually be made interesting because you're telling stories and you're creating for and relating to the audience that you're driving traffic towards. Okay, so most importantly, your website has to be a reflection of who you are as a person, as a business, and what it is that you stand for. So let's talk about how our SEO services can be of benefit to you. And if you can't wait, just reach out to us at livelongdigital.com.au. All right, so you want to make sure that you are being found by your customers. That's one thing for sure. But when they have found you, you want to make sure that they get the right kind of information that solves the problems that they came to you for in the first place. So SEO, like I said, search engine optimization, as it is aptly known, but I want you to know it from today as simply educating others. You are simply educating people on what you provide, how you provide it, and how best they can be in touch with you. So it is quite important part of marketing your business, because you're educating your audience on how to do business with you. All right, so if you want people to find your website, you have to ensure that they can find your website when they're using Google and maybe some of their other favorite search engines. And however, what you have to realize is that search engine optimization has changed a lot over the years, and gone are the days that when you just stuff your content full of the same keywords over and over again, it will actually be a successful method to optimizing your site for search engines. All right, you want to make sure that people can actually read your website and make sense of what you're selling. Remember, these people are naive and they're looking for information. So the last thing you want to do is make them look stupid by them not understanding what it is that you're offering. And the fact that they are anonymous, you can't see them, and they know you cannot, they're just going to walk away from your website, and you've lost valuable revenue that could have come from this potential customer. So like I mentioned, keyword stuffing is now a no-no. All right, you are simply educating others on what it is that you offer. You don't want to confuse them or add to the confusion that they already have, because if they knew what they were searching for, why would they be searching for it on Google? So honestly, SEO is now easier than it has actually ever been. But however, before you can be truly successful at it, you're going to need to forget just about everything that you thought you knew about SEO. Like I said, it's now simply educating others. And when you stick to some of the bogus forms of SEO out there, it's just only going to harm your site, and it's not going to allow you to actually step ahead. So you might think that you are tricking the robots, but you're not tricking your customers. You need to be simply educating others. That's what SEO should stand for in your head moving forward. Anyone that says anything different is just a snake oil salesman. All right, so the first thing you want to do is forget keywords. I know I'm handing my neck on a silver platter for people that are hell-bent to thinking that keywords are the be and end all of search engine optimization, because the main and most important part of SEO is using keywords, right? Well, that is wrong. All those fancy keyword tools aren't going to help you now like they once did. The truth is, people are no longer searching for things the same way they used to before. No longer are people typing in awkward keywords. Now more and more people are typing an entire sentence and asking questions. So such as when they ask how far is this place from me, or who is the president of X, Y, and Z country, they're no longer just typing in president of whatever place. So the way they speak is the way they're typing right now. So instead of you bombarding or stuffing your content with keywords that are no longer meaningful to people, you need to enter the conversation that's already in your customer's head. Okay. And like I said, people are now asking questions that might be they might be looking for a curious answer to, and some people are even speaking these questions into their mobile devices or other devices, just like this. Okay, Google, who is Prosper Taravinga?
On the website jamesshort.com.au, they say, Prosper Taravinga started Livelong Digital as a simple agency to help small businesses convert and sell all leads coming their way. He helped businesses grow and maximize awareness, traffic, and revenue from both organic and paid search.
There you go. All right. So that's how people are searching right now. So if you would have put things that are not meaningful to them, guess what? That gibberish would have just come through a speaker, or they would have just ignored it and gone to somebody who is well organized. Now, Google is on to all of us, and that's right. Google knows about all of this silly word, this silly keyword tools that we've been using. And it all knows, all about all the clever ways that you are weaving these keywords into your content. So this gig is up. That groovy train has come to a stop. And let me tell you something. This isn't a bad thing, though. No. As long as you focus on creating interesting and informative content about your industry, you will do well. Okay? You can use content targeting, such as by finding out what people are actually searching on search engines, and you help them answering these questions through your content, and it would actually help you connect to your audience, just basically using the conversations that they already using. All right, so there's no longer a need for you to weave keywords into your sentences. Just write normally, and guess what? The Google robots will actually figure it all out. Okay, and back in the time, we used to use backlinks or links that connect to other sites, just so that we can prove the relevancy of our own websites. That also, I think you should stop worrying about that now. Okay, I mean, once upon a time, people paid a bucket load to buy backlinks to other websites. And then people started figuring out that Google didn't actually quite like that. So they started creating their own and using maybe semi-clever ways, such as through guest blogging or article directories. I'd want to just say, just stop focusing on this. In fact, guest blogging can even be actually harmful to your site's SEO if it's done the wrong way. For example, maybe you post a guest blog with a link to your website on a website that is totally unrelated. Google will know what you're trying to do, and they won't reward you for that mediocrity. All right. So, however, you can actually start building natural backlinks. All right. Just don't think about doing it. All right. Instead, focus on building natural following through forums, social medias, and websites that are related to what it is that you're actually doing, and stop counting backlinks and thinking that Google is doing the same. Google actually loves and favors people that are bringing information to the public. Remember what I told you about their lie? Their lie is to make it look like all the information is being derived from Google itself. All right. So you want to make sure that you're providing valuable content that people seek out. And when you are doing Google's job of providing that information, guess what? The scales will be tipped towards you. All right. And one other thing that we should also notice moving forward is that a lot of our searchers are coming to us using mobile devices, and like I just use the Google voice tool there to find out about myself. You want to stop focusing on computers now. Okay, because the way people search for stuff has totally changed. Okay, I mean, obviously, people still search for things and look at websites on their computers. That's a given, or tablets. All right. But you might be using a computer right now, listening to this podcast, or you're actually listening to this podcast from Spotify, or, Apple podcast, and that's on your mobile device. Okay. However, I want you to not assume that all or even most of your viewers are using computers to access your site. Right? The truth is that more and more people are getting online and searching and browsing, reading and interacting on social media from their devices. The smartphone is getting smarter and smarter, and people are getting dumber and dumber. All right. So people are actually loving their smartphones and their tablets and, their other similar internet ready devices. So you have to be ready for this. And Google will actually penalize you. Remember, they want to create the facade that they're the ones providing that information. So they want to control the user experience from when people search up until they find that information. You know why? Because they want people to keep coming back to the search engine. That way they might one day click on an ad and Google gets paid. That is the secret right there. So you have to consistently be educating others. That is what SEO should now stand for in your head. Okay, simply educating others. All right. And going on to mobile, in fact, I think it was Google's latest update. It was all about targeting websites that aren't catering for a mobile audience. And if your website isn't mobile ready, it might not show up in search engine rankings at all. So all that work that you're doing on your glorified brochure, you really want to make sure that it is working to your favor. So if you go onto our website, www.livelongdigital.com.au, we do have a free website audit, which basically helps you see where your website is missing out on especially when it's not ranking on Google and you're not having enough traffic or leads. There might be something that Google has already penalized you for, and you might not be aware of this. All right. So if you go on our website, www.livelongdigital.com.au, look for our free SEO audit. You get this response in about 3 minutes stat. Okay. So don't be penalized by Google by overcrowding your website with keywords, and don't use backlinks as a be it and end all strategy, because right now all the machine learning that Google has invested into their algorithm can now tell when you're just spraying and praying with your optimization. And like I've been repeating throughout this podcast, search engine optimization, or SEO, in your head should now represent simply educating others on what it is that you're offering and helping them make sense of the world around them. Okay, so you need to stop focusing on computers as well, because people are now approaching the internet using different devices. Some people use watches, some people use voice search, some people use different devices. There's even headphones that are now connected to the internet or Wi-Fi. All right. And obviously you'd want to check your site on the computer. Perhaps it's different with different browsers that people now engage the internet with. But most blogging and website platforms like WordPress will work just fine on any computer. All right. So instead, you want to put focus into making your website mobile friendly. This isn't just about ensuring that your page loads and can be navigated on mobile devices either. It's also about things like breaking up your content into smaller paragraphs that can easily be read on mobile screens without people feeling overwhelmed. And you want to keep your images smaller, at a size that would look nice on mobile devices. And these types of things can actually make a difference to your mobile users. Believe it or not, Google will appreciate it as well, because guess what you're doing? You're saving their face. All right. So at the end of the day, SEO is not your only holy grail. When it comes to marketing your services, you need to get on board with other marketing strategies as well, in order for you to be, do, and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And guess what? In the past, SEO was probably the single most important way to market any website. And you still might believe this, but you shouldn't, man. You shouldn't. Search engines are obviously still important, which is okay, not a wasted effort so far. But if you're building and marketing your site properly, then the search engine rankings will obviously come eventually. But that is the beauty of Google's newest changes. Natural sites that are doing it right are definitely going to rank, and sites that are trying too hard to rank, they're definitely not gonna work. And it's that simple. Like I said, you are simply educating others. Focus on providing enough value to your audience, and make sure that you're engaging people and educating them on what it is that you offer, and you're inspiring people to want more and be more and to continuously want to work with you, and you're positioning yourself as the go-to coach, consultant, or small to medium business, and in the process you're providing value. Okay, not only will Google favor this, but people actually just appreciate it when you're offering value, because then they have a reason for them to patronize your business. Why? Because they want to reciprocate based on the value that you've given them. All right, so this means that you have more time to actually put things like your social media, your blogging, building ad campaigns, and more. And in no time, you'll surely dominate all of these marketing arenas as long as you're providing value. So like I said, and as you can see, things are changing fast, and they're changing drastically in the world of search engine optimization. Like I keep repeating and saying to you, you're simply educating others on what it is that you do and how you can best help them make sense of the world around you. So at the end of the day, I want you to attract crowds of new customers and set your business up for long-term growth. And as you know, SEO has significant benefits if you are doing the right things by your customers and by Google. Because if you are putting out really good information there, it converts at a much higher rate than paid traffic, all right? Because you haven't paid money to have that person reach your website. And instead of you getting tire kickers or people that are not going to buy your services, if you've educated people on what to want, and if you've engaged them and provided them with value, then they're only going to simply reciprocate, and it weeds out those people that are not going to purchase from you, and you can actually start attracting customers who are ready to buy your products and services, and people who have been educated, and people who feel obligated to do business with you would pay, stay, and refer. So like I've always been saying, simply educating others SEO is a cost-effective long-term strategy. Okay, if you put your content and it's evergreen, like what we're doing right now on the podcast, I simply just sit down, look at a topic, and I am farming future prospects, or people that are already working with us, and revalidating to them that they haven't made a mistake by choosing us as their service provider. So I'm just simply educating others, when working with us. And those that are already working with us, after their initial investment, they're never going to have to go somewhere else to get all the information that will help them be, do, and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So I want you to outrank your competition and help your customers find you by providing them with information, because as we know, people are coming to the internet to get information, and if your website is the one that provides that information, like I mentioned, earlier on that Bob Berg, the author of Go Giver, says, with all things being equal, people will do business with those they know, like, and trust. So get people to know you, get people to trust you, and eventually you will have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I can't wait to celebrate your success with you when you are simply educating others. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au